make sure that they tell you. Right. It's a long time. Individual. Next visit is to the new what will be it?
As election time comes round, they're trying to erode Labour votes here.
What do you think?
They're going to have a very tough time. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why you're all taking such a lot of interest. He's on his way out. That's what I think.
You think he's trying to claim some credit for this?
Yeah, but there's nothing to claim credit for. The place is falling apart. They had to rebuild it.
But don't you approve of what's going on here, though? This sort of complete redevelopment here. Is it not going to improve things around here?
A lot of the tenants are getting kicked out because they.
Yeah. There he comes, chaps. Maybe not.
What was it?
Oh, come on.
Houses with gardens, with front doors onto the street, try to recreate what's happening in street scene. In fact, the street pattern very much conforms to the street pattern that was here before the estate was built in the 70s. And nobody's living in a flat which is more than 2 or 3 stories above street level. And so we have a minimum amount of common associations. That's both to reduce service charges, but also to reduce spaces that people have to share. And every family has a private garden. Every family has a parking space from which they can see their own car. And we also have some small children's play spaces which are immediately in the vicinity of their house.
It's all built on a street system.
It's all built.
How did you decide on the brick?
Well, it was a
meeting of minds.
A meeting of minds.
Was it?
Yes. Planners, tenants have an involvement. The tenants have chosen all materials within a budget that was affordable.
I think it's much more complex than some of the bricks you see.
And all the way around, langs have been added in sort of, they've been leavening the whole thing by saying what's possible, what's economical, and played a very important part in making it work. And it's within housing corporation cost limits, and there is a slight problem about space.
You're still building to park
with these 10% low parking miles, which is as high as we can go within the housing corporation's property.
Probably not anything like this, really.
So there's been some compromise. The tenants park cars, it's now an obsolete. Led by Sophie Newlon, Samuel Lewis, Cush Housing Association, North Yes. Yes.
That's the founded original Africa being.
It's not one I know.
Association.
Yeah.
But there's no writing down.
I'm Nina Gill, I'm Chief Executive of Newlon Housing. This is one of our properties.
He's going to meet some of his trainees.
We talked of real dynamic. You can really see that if I can understand indeed.
Hitting that.
Another 2 survivors should say something about
rid of frankly rather poor housing in many parts of the inner city area. Large amount of progress has been made, but a good deal less progress than might have been made. And what I think we've learned over the last few years is there is not now, and there never is going to be money just from the public purse, from the taxpayer, to comprehensively deal with the problem. And the reason I came here today is because this is one of a whole series of schemes that have been set up with single regeneration budget, challenge funding, bringing together various elements of the public sector and the private sector to lever in a lot of private sector money in order to build a much better environment. And you can actually see it when you look around. The private sector money is being levered in at a dramatic rate. It's dwarfing the amount of public sector money. And that is the only way in the years that lie immediately ahead of us that we're comprehensively going to deal with the inner city problems. And I'm very pleased to see that not just here, but in many parts, many places up and down the country, these schemes are now getting off the ground, and you're seeing the sort of changes you can see here. And if you look just over there, you actually get a vivid illustration. There's some of the old housing that's coming down, those old tower blocks that were built in the 60s. Massive injections of money, and look what was built. We built a problem for the 70s, the 80s and the 90s. And those old houses there. And this is what is being built to replace it. And it's housing on a much more human scale. And I think it's worth coming to look at it and see it. Because it is schemes like this up and down the country that are going to be the only way in which we can deal with inner city problems. Now, if anyone has some questions on inner city problems, I will happily take them.
About living in a long area.
What happened? So I think that is the answer. I spent most of my youth from the age of about 10 living in the middle of Brixton. So I saw areas like this. I saw areas where the mistakes of the 70s and 80s, as we came to know them, they were being built at that time. I saw very large areas just torn down, communities disappeared. They were provided with better...
Give me that, sir. You got some. Can I ask your name, sir?
Mr. Yerik, Mustafa Yerik.
And is this a new home for you?
Yes.
How long have you been here?
Good.
How long?
Yes, hello. Good.
What was it like having the Prime Minister coming to see the houses today?
Houses.
Good?
Good, yes.
Lovely, thank you
Good.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask you first of all your names, please?
Serena and Margaret Sinclair.
And how long have you been living here?
About 5 months now.
And where did you live before?
Grange Court, Tower Block.
Tell me a little bit about where you lived before. Tell me what it was like and what this is like in
It
comparison.
was a tower block on the actual Holly Street estate. It wasn't very nice, was it? I mean, it was dirty.
A lot of
it was-
muggings
Yeah, a
and-
lot of trouble went on in there because he was kept away. He was very sort of locked in and kept away from it all.
And what are these new houses like?
Oh, they're lovely, aren't
The
they?
houses are very nice. They're lovely, yes. Yeah. Lovely big kitchen and plenty of space and that. They're really nice.
Do you feel a lot safer here?
Oh, it's much safer, definitely, yeah. We feel much safer, yeah. We don't have to go to lifts or anything. Our own gate, front door.
And finally, what was it like having the Prime Minister coming to look at the houses today?
Very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it made you sort of feel quite special, really, to think the Prime Minister has come to your estate, where you're living. I don't know, it makes you feel quite special, I suppose.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Simple as that.
Go on.
It's been a bit of a day, isn't it? Ready? Rolling.
Maureen, can I ask you first of all, where did you live before you lived here?
On the other part of the estate, the old estate, Holly Street estate.
I'm going to ask you that again, and this time tell me a little bit what it was like. Maureen, can I ask you first of all, where did you live before and what was it like?
I lived in what was called the Snake Block. It wasn't very nice. I mean, I did have a garden, I had a maisonette, but like the people upstairs would chuck their rubbish down and the council would do nothing about it. Tenants had no say in what went on the estate, and it was just really horrible.
And now you live at 105 Freshfields Avenue. What's it like here?
Beautiful. It really is nice, and obviously tenants are going to be more involved in what goes on here, along